So this is a Bailey Orion 434. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. At the front of the van, you've got your hitch, stabiliser, jockey wheel and handbrake. We have a separate video for this that I'll send over so you can see this in operation. On each corner of the caravan, you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. You would never lift the caravan with the wind down legs off the ground. You'd have to use a proper jack for doing that. Side of the caravan, as you can see, we've got an aqua roll connected with the water pump coming into the side of the van that drops down inside the aqua roll. So as you can see, on the end of this pipe, it's actually got a white section which is actually the pump for the van. Underneath the cover here, on the right hand side, you've got the vent for the heating and hot water systems, or the gas flue essentially. So you need to remove that before you ignited anything on gas inside the caravan. Side of the van, you've also got your fridge vents. So the fridge vents here allow the hot air out the side of the unit, out the fridge unit, and also behind there is a gas flue as well for the gas system on the fridge. Motor mover and wheel nuts. The wheel nuts will be torqued before the caravan is delivered to you, and I'll demonstrate the motor mover at the end of the video. The water that goes into the front of the caravan has to come out somewhere, and that's what these two pipes are for, just down here. You'd put two pieces of the grey pipe into there and they'd drop down into the waste master, which is sold separately. On the side of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank. This tank here would take 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid, so that's the pink and the blue toilet chemical. In the bottom here, let's grab the keys for the van. Inside the door. Got the toilet tank itself inside this door. So when you undo the door, you'll see an orange handle that you need to pull up and pull towards you to allow the cassette to release from the side of the van. You've got your orange waste pipe just here, so that pipe comes round and that's where you empty your waste out. And also before use, you put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid. And when I say a cap full of the blue fluid, the cap measure is just here, the blue fluid. On the back of the toilet cassette, you've got an orange pressure relief button to allow the pressure out of the toilet cassette when you're tipping the waste away. On the rear of the caravan again, you've got your lights, as you'd expect to see, and on either side of the van at the rear, you've got your two wind down legs. On this side of the van, you've got a little storage locker just here that allows you access underneath the bed on the caravan. And then you've got your battery box, which you'll notice when I do the motor move demonstration will have a battery in there just for the purpose of demonstrating it. And then we've got an orange power lead, as you can see, coming to the side of the van from the power on site. You've then got your gas locker with your propane gas pipe, as you can see, going to the regulator on the bulkhead. The thread on the pipe work is actually a reverse thread fitting. And again, you've got your wheels, your wheel and motor mover, which, like I said, I'll demonstrate later on in the video. And you've also got your wind down leg at the front of the van. Going inside the van, the first thing we're going to need to do is fill the water system on board the caravan. So we've got the aqua roll connected on the outside of the van, as you can see, we're out there. And underneath the far right hand seat of the caravan, you'll actually find the water tank itself. This is a hot water system and the heating system together. Now the yellow valve that you see down on the floor, when you're trying to fill the water system, will need to be parallel with the floor. And if you're trying to drain down the water system, the yellow valve will be pointing towards the bottom of the seat. So to fill the water system, which I've already done on this particular van, so I can hopefully demonstrate it steaming so you can see the hot water system is working, will need to be parallel with the floor at this point, and then you'd come over to each tap on board the caravan with the water pump still turned off at this point on the control panel by the door. As you can see, water pump, you'd have that turned off. You'd come over and open each tap up. As you can see, there's already water in the system, so it's a little bit hard to demonstrate, but when there's no water coming through the taps, to start with, it's going to be spit and splatter when you turn on the water pump. A bit like when the water's been off at home, for instance, but you need to make sure the hot side, as you can see here, is completely full of water. Because I've turned the pump off, it's not pushing any water up inside the caravan. You'd also do the same on the tap in the bathroom and the tap in the shower as well. Once you've got all the taps open on the hot side, you'd come to the control panel just by the door where you've got your master power switch, your internal lights and your awning light on the outside of the van, and your voltmeter for the caravan. You'd turn on the water pump, and at that point you'd see the water coming through the taps as it draws the water up from the aqua roll on board the caravan. Once the water system is completely full, as it is now, you'd then turn off each tap individually once there's water coming out of each tap continuously, and then you can start thinking about warming the water on board the van. So to do this, you've got the control panels just up here on the wall for the electric side of the water heating, and then down underneath the seat on the far side, you've got the 230 volt supply down here for the water heater down underneath the seat, and at the top here you've got the gas operation here as well. To operate it on electric, you're going to first need to turn on this switch here. As you can see, 230 volt water heater. You're going to need to make sure that it's turned on, and then you're going to select the temperature of the water heater on this switch down here. So you've got 30 degrees when you push the switch towards the top, or you've got 50 to 60 degrees when you put the switch towards the bottom. Once that's on, the water will probably take 35 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to warm up from completely cold, and once it is, you can then boost it if you need to by using either the hot side of the electric water heating or the gas control up on the wall. Now, as you'll see on here, you've got 50 and 70 degrees as a water temperature option. If you wanted to boost it to 50 degrees, you'd put that switch on to the hot side or the 50 degree side at the top, and you'd get a green light appear on the side here when it has ignited on gas. If it failed to ignite, as it would do at the moment because there's no gas on, you'd get a red light appear on this left hand side, and just on cue, there is that red light. If you wanted to warm the water up more, because you like a hot shower, you'd go to 70 degrees at the bottom with the gas bottle turned on. So that's your water heating on board the caravan. If you wanted to stop heating the water, you'd turn off either the gas supply here or the main power switch for the heating and hot water just here. To control the heating on board the caravan, you come back to the opposite side of the van, and you'll notice here you've got 500, 1000 or 2000 watts. Now, to control the temperature, first of all you select the power that's coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on, so 500, 1000 or 2000. Then you'd use the temperature control here at the top to control the temperature of the heating. The higher you go, the hotter the heating is going to be. If you wanted to use blown air with the heating, you could do that by putting it onto blown air at the bottom here, and again you can control the temperature on this dial here. And if you wanted to operate the heating and hot water on gas, on gas, you'd spin this dial around to the gas symbol at the bottom, and if it ignited on gas, you'd have a red pilot light just here, green pilot light just here, and if it failed to ignite on gas, you'd have a red warning light just here to let you know it has failed. I'm just going to wait for that to appear so you can see that it is working as it should. But again, on gas, you can control the heat and the temperature on the dial on top. If you wanted to isolate the control panels completely because you wanted the heating off, you could turn this switch off just here. However, I recommend that you do leave this switch on at all times. I'm going to come back to that in a moment because that will fail to ignite in a few moments' time, just so I can show you it has failed as it should. To turn on the fridge, you've got a grey power button on the left hand side, which you're going to turn on, as you can see. At the moment, it's trying to ignite on gas, and if it failed to ignite on gas, that green light would actually flash, and it would also make a beeping noise from the fridge to let you know it has failed to ignite. If you wanted to change the power source you wanted to use, you'd press and hold the grey button just here, and the arrows, and you could select 12 volt for when you're towing down the road, so the fridge worked as a cool box, or you could use 240 mains if you wanted to use it on the site, on the power from the site you are on. You'd press the grey button to set the power supply you're using, and then use the grey arrows once the blocks on the right hand side start flashing to set the temperature of the fridge. I would advise when you first turn it on to have it completely cold, then adjust from there. You'd press the grey button again to set that. You've then got your the oven and grill underneath, as you can see, with the oven at the bottom and the grill option at the top, and then you've got your hob above. You would never shut down the glass lid on the hob until the hob has completely cooled down. It could potentially smash if you don't allow it to cool down first. Microwave, you've got the power controls here, so you can set the time, etc. on the dial here. Then you've got your start and stop at the bottom, as you'd expect to see. The toilet system in the bathroom, very simple to use. You've got an electric flush on the toilet. So you've got an electric flush just here that will allow the toilet cassette to flush. And then you've got a waste handle just down here to allow the toilet waste into the cassette underneath the van. When you are finished with the toilet, you would need, or when you are emptying the cassette from on board the van, you'd need to make sure the toilet is pointing straight across the caravan towards the shower itself. Next I'm going to demonstrate is the motor mover and show you how that works from the outside of the van. But for that I'm just going to put on a battery just for demonstration purposes. Thank you very much. First of all, to engage the mover, we're going to get the motor mover engagement bar. And we're going to put it onto the slot on the side of the van and lock the motor mover over into place with the bar, as you can see. So it's now locked into place. We're going to release the handbrake at the front of the caravan. We're going to check to make sure the motor mover is against the wheel on the opposite side of the van, which, as you can see, it is. Disconnect the water pump for a second just so I can demonstrate the mover. Then we'll come around to the opposite side of the van and make sure the motor mover power switch is turned on in the side locker. So we're going to push that in and turn the power key 90 degrees. At that point we're going to turn the controller on. So to turn the controller on, we're going to press the two green buttons, as you can see, and the controller will come on. At that point I can press the forward arrow and the van will move forwards. I'll press backwards, the van will go backwards. I'll press the turns, it will move away from me and then towards me. And the same going backwards. And the same again on the opposite side. As you can see, the van is moving backwards, and at that point then you can turn the controller off. Turn the power off in the side locker. Pull the handbrake on at the front of the van. And then you can disengage the motor mover from the wheels. And that is how you operate the Bailey Orion 434 with a motor mover from PowerTouch. Thank you very much. Bye bye.